What's your age?
32.
What do you do for work?
I'm a divorce lawyer.
How long have you been a divorce attorney?
Since 2016.
This video, when I did the full interview, so I'm going to card it right here for you guys. That was my best video viewing I got so far. So go watch it. It's a pretty good interview.
And I've been practicing, and then 2017 officially barred.
Do you think that sexless marriages can work?
No. And 100% every single time, I mostly work for men. So every single time they're in a consult with me, I'm always hearing, I haven't had sex in 10 years. I haven't had sex in 5 years. I haven't had sex in 15 years. And I'm like, here we go again. The sex talk every single time. So it's like, you need to make sure you're doing it 2 to 4 times is ideal.
So a lack of sex in these marriages is the most common theme that you're seeing when they end.
Yeah, because it's connected to more of that. It's not just physical. It's like, all right, well, if you're not into someone and you're disgusted by them and you're pissed off at them, you're not going to be having sex with them, right? Because you're going to be unattracted to them. You're going to be irritated and you're not going to be into them. So you're not going to be banging them.
So why do you think people stay in these relationships for so long?
I think they stay in it just because it's comfortable and it's easy and it's really hard. This is marriage is a breakup on steroids. Like if you're.
Yep. I mean, I went 5 years with my ex with no intimacy. It was pretty terrible. But it was hard to get out of because you feel like you gotta take care of this person. And then also divorce ain't cheap. It's by the hour. There is no pro bono.
If you're going to get a divorce, it's not just like, I'm moving my shit out, bye-bye. It's like, if there's kids involved, forget about it. It's like your whole life is upended. It's a major decision. If your family's affected, your life is affected, half your crap is gone. So it's a little bit tougher than with just a simple breakup.
Do you think that marriage is outdated now?
Outdated, but it's a more acceptable to get divorced, right? Because we're seeing it a lot more. It's not taboo.
Would you say that divorces are initiated most by men or by women?
Women, 90% of the time.
Why is that the case?
I think that they yap with their friends, and I think they get real frustrated where guys are like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And I think the women
just love to gossip and listen to their friends and their therapist saying that their husband's a narcissist and they've got to get out of there and take him for all he's worth and take the kids and blah, blah, blah. And then these women are like, yeah, I need to be empowered. I need to have my husband's house in my name and then not work anymore with all the alimony I'm going to get. I will be so independent. And we all know where that goes.
and just get in their heads and they're like, all right, I'm done.
They laughed at standards, mocked commitment, and now they're crying on TikTok about how dating is impossible. I'm Jesus, and today I'm reacting to a compilation of women who hit the wall and realized too late. Good men don't wait forever. Stick around, because this is what happens when choices meet consequences and TikTok becomes the confession booth.
There's not much to add here. That's why they say, the smart man doesn't get married. He chooses to live in a common law relationship instead. Marriage loses value for men more and more each day, simply because there's no real benefit left in it. These days, many couples married for 10 years don't even share a bed anymore. There's no intimacy, the woman gains weight, becomes hard to deal with, and it all ends in divorce. Did you know that divorce is one of the top 3 reasons people go bankrupt after age 50? Like I said, the risks are high and the benefits are few. What you can get from a common law relationship, companionship, kids, a shared life, you already have without signing a paper that puts you at legal and financial risk. Why get married if there are no guarantees, only obligations? The smart man today observes and protects himself because the system is out to destroy.
Men used to go to war. Men used to go to war, okay? And now
What?
now they just beat their fucking dicks and talk about like, oh my god, who would win between 100 guys and a fucking gorilla?
Is that what we do? I don't think
Enlist,
so.
please! Oh.
Getting a reaction that early on, my
Welcome
goodness.
to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see a woman who's tired of being strong and independent. She wants a man in her life. We'll also hear from a divorce attorney explaining why, nowadays, marriage is a bad deal for men. Make sure to smash that like
It
button
always
and
has been.
subscribe. We're on our way to 150,000 subscribers, and with your support, we're going to crush that goal. Drop your point of view and experience in the comments. It helps another man in the same situation. Without further introduction, let's get started.
If you want to know what it's like, and I can only speak as a woman that is dating men, what it is like on the dating scene right now, I'm going to tell you this story. I matched with this guy and we seem to be getting along well. This was recent. This was like half an hour ago. And we were chit-chatting, had a couple of back and forths, and pretty quickly he was like, do you want to have a quick phone call? Like, do you want to see if we like actually vibe on the phone? And I was like, you know what? Sure, like, why not? Let's have a quick phone call. So he gave me his number so that I could basically call him and put 141 in front of my number so that it came up as unknown or blocked. Because, you know, we're trying to protect ourselves out here. I'd only known this guy for maybe 10 minutes. I'd been matched with him at this point. So we were chit-chatting on the phone. It seemed like it was going okay. We were, you know, both establishing that we were looking for something more serious, that, you know, we were saying what we did for work, and it was all the basic getting to know each other questions. He then told me, he was like, I hope you're prepared because I've not had sex in 7 months. And I was like, oh, how come? And he was like, oh, I've just been working on myself and it hasn't been a focus. And I was like, you know what? Cool. Like, cool. You do you. I was like, I'd be losing my mind at that point, but more power to you. And he was like, oh, really? Like, you know, it's a green flag that you like sex. What's your favorite position? And I was like, that's a very intimate question for someone that you've known for like 10 minutes. At which point he then started grunting. Like, you fucking know, but he was like grunting. I was like, what the fuck's going on? And he was like, oh, do you have 5 more minutes just to hang around so that I can come? I literally went, what the fuck? And hung up the phone. That's fucking violating. That's literally sexual harassment. I've reported him on the app and blocked him. And luckily I called him from like 141 so he doesn't have my number. I've also blocked his. But that's what it's like. That's literally what it's like. And the more that I try to date, the more I'm like, fuck this.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Let's start with the fact that you're on a dating app where most people are just looking for something physical. It's an
Yep.
environment full of chads who are there with a clear intention. Something quick, no strings attached. And yes, there are women who are into that too. So, if a guy talks to you with those intentions, it shouldn't be a surprise. That's how the game works. The drama you
You keep ignoring the red flags like they're clearance signs at Sephora, girl.
made could have been solved in 2 simple steps: hang up and block. Easy. But no, you decide to report the guy just for being upfront about what he wanted. Seriously? What did you expect to find in a place like that? Everybody knows that when things don't go the way some women want, they try to screw the guy over out of spite.
At what age did you wake up and realize that you no longer wanted to be a strong, Black, independent woman? And this can apply to white women and men as well, because I've definitely heard this term coined by a lot of people. But for me, it was about 6 months ago. I legit woke up, realized that I've slayed all of my goals. I have my career, I have my house,
Slay.
I have the car, I have everything else, and I don't want it anymore. If you can't relate to what I'm saying, then you can't relate to what I'm saying. But for me, at 32 and a couple more months left till I'm 33, I realized that my priorities are changing. And now I want to be a housewife. I want to raise children. I don't want responsibilities. I don't want to have a mortgage.
Wait, you realize that children are a responsibility, right, lady?
Actually, I do want a mortgage, but I don't want it to be in my name. I honestly want to relinquish responsibility to an able-bodied man. Keyword, able-bodied man. And this is such a new thing for me. And this is epiphany. And this is something that I've been struggling with. Why is my lip gloss not opening? Why am I struggling with my lip gloss right now? Let's pause this video so that I can... Never mind. So, this is something that I've honestly been struggling with because it's something that I've never thought that I would get to the point in my life where I no longer identified as a strong Black independent woman.
This is the conclusion many women come to. They realize there's no point in having a 5-bedroom house if they only use one. They were sold the narrative of build your career, make money, travel, but the only constant on that path is loneliness. In their 30s, the silence of an empty house weighs more than any achievement. They don't say it out loud, but they feel it. Having everything but no one to share it with isn't success. The problem is that when they hit the wall, that's when the reality check hits hard. They want a man, they want a family, they want companionship, but it's no longer that easy. Weekends feel long. Solo trips turn into meaningless routines. And while they keep searching, their friends are already married, with kids, in a different stage of life. She's at the wall. That's why we say the wall doesn't forgive.
And it's crazy because I remember growing up or in my 20s, I would hear of women who would go out, they would seek these fabulous careers, attorneys, doctors, lawyers, whatever it is, whatever they wanted. And then all of a sudden they would get married and they would give it all up. And I used to think, what the actual... Who does all this to give it up to be a stay-at-home mother? And then I turned 32 and a half, and I realized it is I. I am that woman. I yearn to be a stay-at-home mom. I no longer want to take on all the responsibilities. I want to delegate it to a man. I want to live a soft life. And a small part of me feels like I've worked for that. I've proven to myself, I feel like I've proven to my parents, I've proven to the world that I can do it. And now that that has been proven, I no longer want it. And at 32, I think men have reached their peak of whatever it is that they do, and they've caught up. And I think that I'm finally comfortable with letting them take the lead. I just need...
You oh, you don't want a man. You just want emotional support with a jawline.
Need a applicant. Does anybody else feel that way? Am I the only one that feels that way? Sound off below.
If you look at the comments on this video, you'll be surprised by how many women actually support this change. But it's also obvious how many feminists are against anything related to family. The truth is, when women are with a masculine, strong, providing man, many of them want to stop working and take care of their children. They long for it. But no one tells them that without being labeled weak or submissive. It's what we've been saying all along. They're being deceived. They were sold the idea that more money, more travel, and more independence equals happiness, and many end up alone, hitting the wall, with a cat, watching life go by through a screen. At work, they're just another employee. At home, they're the center of everything. Having a child waiting for you means more than any office ever will. But if you say that, they call you a misogynist. It doesn't matter, because time reveals everything. And as always, the wall doesn't forgive.
Women.
For you.
This is why I deleted my Tinder and why every single girl watching this needs to delete her Tinder too.
This happened a few years ago, and I honestly consider myself so incredibly lucky to be alive after experiencing this. I was living in New York City at the time, and I matched with a guy. For the entire time we were talking, he was really aggressively trying to get me to go out with him. And eventually I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna let this guy take me out on a date. And maybe I'm just being judgmental. Maybe he's not being desperate. Maybe he's just putting in an effort. So the day of the date rolls around, and he tells me that he wants to take me out to a restaurant that is a bit of a hidden gem and is a little bit outside of the city in an area of Westchester called Yonkers. And even though he offered to drive me, I was like, no, it's all good. I actually had my own car in New York City, so I agreed to meet up with him. Now, I feel like an absolute idiot because I didn't even Google this place before I went. So on the night of the date, I'm driving to this place. I put it into my GPS, and it's really weird because as soon as I see it in the GPS, it says that the place is closed. So I text my date and I'm like, hey, I just put this place into the GPS and it is telling me that it is actually closed. To which he replies, oh no, don't worry. They're really bad at updating their hours. This is the part where I should have just been like, oh hell no, and I should have canceled the date. But somehow I decided it would be a good idea to get in my car and drive 40 minutes to Yonkers for a date with a guy. So after 40 minutes of driving in traffic, I arrive at this place in Yonkers. I pull up to the building and I quickly realize that there is nobody in the parking lot and that indeed this business is really closed. Not to mention, my car is the only car in the parking lot. So I start to panic, and as I look behind me to put my car in reverse, I notice another car pull up. This car pulls up right beside me. I don't even look at the person sitting in the car. I just simply back up out of that parking lot as fast as I can, and I get the heck out of there. The entire way home, I am just looking in my rear view mirror to see if there's anyone behind me, and thankfully there was not. And the craziest part of all of this is when I got home, I went back onto that dating app and I could see that the profile had unmatched with me. I never got a chance to screenshot that profile. I never learned the guy's last name, but I can't tell you guys how many times I've heard this happening to girls on dating apps. It's not worth it. Just delete it for your own safety. And if you are going to be on dating apps, please always make sure to get the person's last name and to meet in a place that you are familiar with.
What happened to this?
No, that was a pretty scary story. But at the same time, girl, Jesus Christ, what do you look like without all of that second face on there? You'd probably be lying on your Tinder profile about what you look like under all that makeup. But anyway, yeah, you should be careful on dating apps and don't be stupid and go off and into sketchy situations. Like, it's just seeing, I don't even know how you could let yourself do that.
This girl is unfortunate, and I genuinely hope no woman ever has to go through something like that. But we also need to be honest. She saw the signs. She was told the place was closed, that it was far, that no one was around, and she still went. Why? Because she liked the guy, because he probably fit the image she idealizes, and that clouded her judgment. And that's the problem. When someone attracts you, you often ignore the red flags. That's where the danger comes in. The good thing is that she came out unharmed, but it could have ended very badly. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are some questions for you. What do you think about this strong and independent woman? What was your worst experience on a dating app? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and keeps us motivated to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.
Oh, that was another new channel to grab some content from. Pretty good, I think. But yeah, let's definitely, if you've had any crazy dating app experiences, put them in the comments. I'd love to read some of them. I personally haven't had anything crazy happen to me. But ladies, be careful out there because there will be dudes that want to unalive you. And if they are pushing really hard to get you to come out and you're not really feeling it, don't. Even if they're not sketchy, you're probably going to end up not liking them anyway, because if they're that pushy and you're not feeling it, then why would you feel it anymore in person? Makes no sense. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please check out the other channels. My God, I hate these. And then also here is the notification bell. Make sure you hit it and go bing, bing, bing. And then also check out some of my other content. And I pray you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow.